There comes a moment in life when everything feels uncertain. You wake up, but you don't feel excited. You move, but you don't feel progress. You exist, but you don't feel alive. And the hardest part? You don't even know why you feel this way. You just feel lost. Lost in your thoughts. Lost in your direction. Lost in your purpose. And maybe right now, that's exactly where you are. You're trying to figure things out. Trying to understand your place in this world. Trying to make sense of your pain, your confusion, your silence. And let me tell you something very important. There is nothing wrong with you. Yes, you heard that right. Feeling lost does not mean you are broken. It means you are human. Because every single person you admire today, every successful person, every strong person, every confident person, they were once exactly where you are. Confused. Doubtful. Scared. But they didn't stay there forever. And neither will you. New Moon, the truth about feeling lost. Most people think being lost is a weakness. But what if I told you? Being lost is actually the beginning of something powerful? Because when you feel lost, it means one thing. Backhand index pointing right, you are no longer satisfied with a life that doesn't fulfill you. And that is where transformation begins. See, people who never feel lost are usually people who never question their lives. They just follow the same routine, the same path, the same expectations, without ever asking, is this really what I want? But you're different. You're questioning things. You're searching for something more. You're feeling uncomfortable. And that discomfort? It's a sign that your soul is ready to grow. Fire, why you feel this way. Let's go deeper. You don't just feel lost for no reason. There are reasons behind it. Maybe you followed a path that wasn't truly yours. You tried to please people instead of yourself. You compared your life to others. You chased goals that didn't fulfill you. You ignored your inner voice for too long. And now, everything feels empty. Because deep inside, you know something needs to change. But change is scary, right? Because change means letting go of the familiar. Stepping into the unknown. Risking failure. Facing judgment. So you stay stuck. Not happy. But not moving either. And that's where the real pain begins. Broken heart, the silent battle. Nobody talks about this part. The silent battle. The one where you smile in front of others, but feel empty inside. The one where people think you're okay, but you're fighting thoughts they'll never understand. You question yourself. Am I behind in life? Am I wasting my time? Will I ever figure this out? Why does everyone else seem to know what they're doing, except me? And slowly, doubt starts to grow. Confidence starts to fade. And you begin to feel like you're falling behind. But listen carefully. You are not behind. You are on your own timeline. Life is not a race. There is no universal clock that says you must succeed at a certain age. Some people find their purpose at 18. Some at 30. Some at 50. And some, after failing 100 times. Your journey is different. And that's okay. Seedling, what being lost is trying to teach you. Instead of asking, why am I lost? Ask. Backhand index pointing right, what is this feeling trying to teach me? Because being lost is not the end. It's a message. A message telling you. Stop living on autopilot. Stop chasing what doesn't matter. Stop ignoring your true self. It's pushing you to pause. To reflect. To reconnect with who you really are. Because maybe You didn't lose your way. Maybe. You were just following the wrong path. High voltage, the turning point. Every person who has ever found their purpose started with a moment like this. A moment of confusion. A moment of frustration. A moment where they said, enough is enough. And that moment can be right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when everything is perfect. Right now. Because clarity doesn't come from waiting. Clarity comes from action. Even small action. Even imperfect action. Even confused action. Because movement creates direction. Man walking, start small. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to know your entire future. All you need is to take one step. Just one. Try something new. Learn something different. Step out of your comfort zone. Listen to your inner voice. And slowly, things will start to make sense. Not all at once, but piece by piece. Sunrise, a new perspective. What if, instead of seeing this phase as a problem, you saw it as an opportunity? An opportunity to discover yourself. Rebuild your life. Create something meaningful. Become stronger than ever. Because sometimes, life has to break your old path, so you can find your true one. Speech balloon, final words of part 1. If you feel lost right now, I want you to remember this. Backhand index pointing right, you are not alone. Backhand index pointing right, you are not broken. Backhand index pointing right, you are not failing. You are simply in the process of becoming. And this phase? This confusing, uncomfortable, uncertain phase? It might just be the most important chapter of your life. There is something you need to understand. Feeling lost is not just about confusion. It's about fear. Fear of making the wrong decision. Fear of wasting your life. Fear of not becoming who you were meant to be. And this fear? It keeps you stuck. You overthink everything. What if this doesn't work? What if I fail? What will people say? What if I regret this? So instead of moving forward, you do nothing. And slowly, that nothing turns into months, even years. Brain, the trap of overthinking. Overthinking feels like you're being productive. But in reality, it's just another form of fear. You keep planning. Keep analyzing. Keep waiting for the perfect moment. But the truth is, the perfect moment does not exist. If you wait until you feel 100% ready, you will be waiting forever. Because growth doesn't come from certainty. It comes from action in uncertainty. Crossed swords, the battle with yourself. Right now, your biggest enemy is not the world. It's your own mind. One side of you says, backhand index pointing right, go for it. Try something new. Change your life. And the other side says, backhand index pointing right, stay safe. Don't risk it. What if you fail? And every day, those voices fight. And most of the time, fear wins. Not because you're weak, but because fear is loud. It's convincing. It feels real. It feels protective. But here's the truth. Fear is not protecting you, it's limiting you. Fire, you don't need confidence to start. Most people think, I'll start when I feel confident. But that's backwards. Confidence doesn't come first. Action comes first. Then confidence follows. Think about it. You weren't confident the first time you tried anything new. You weren't confident when you first learned something difficult. But you did it anyway. And over time, You improved. You adapted. You became stronger. That's how confidence is built. Not by waiting, but by doing. Collision. Stop trying to figure out your entire life. This is where most people get stuck. They think, I need to figure out my whole future. But that's impossible. You don't need to know your next 10 years. You don't even need to know your next 1 year. You just need to know. Backhand index pointing right. What is my next step? That's it. One step. Because life is not solved all at once. It's built step by step. Tornado. Let go of who you thought you'd be. Sometimes the reason you feel lost is because you're holding on to an old version of yourself. An identity that no longer fits. Maybe you thought you'd have everything figured out by now. You'd be more successful. You'd be happier. You'd be somewhere else in life. But reality didn't match your expectations. And that hurts. But listen carefully. It's okay to outgrow your old plans. It's okay to change direction. It's okay to start over. Because you are not here to live a life based on old expectations. You are here to create a life that feels true to you now. Seedling. Rebuilding yourself from zero. If you feel like you've lost yourself, good. Because now, you get to rebuild. From scratch. On your terms. Not based on what others expect. Not based on fear. Not based on pressure. But based on truth. Ask yourself, what actually makes me feel alive? What do I enjoy doing? What kind of life do I want to wake up to? You don't need perfect answers. You just need honest ones. Door. The power of starting again. There is something powerful about starting over. Because when you start again, you're not the same person. You're wiser. You're stronger. You've learned from your mistakes. And this time, you move differently. You think differently. You choose differently. High voltage discipline over motivation. Let's be real. You won't always feel motivated. There will be days when you feel tired, confused, unfocused. But those are the days that matter most. Because anyone can move when they feel motivated. But real growth comes when you move without it. That's discipline. And discipline is what will carry you forward. Even when your emotions try to hold you back. Sunrise over mountains. Your life can change faster than you think. Right now, it feels like you're stuck. Like nothing is changing. But what you don't see is this. Small steps, repeated daily, create massive change. One decision can change your direction. One opportunity can change your path. One moment can change everything. Your life is not as stuck as it feels. It's just waiting for you to move. If you feel lost, don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel confident. Don't wait for clarity. Because those things come after you start. Not before. Backhand index pointing right. Start scared. Backhand index pointing right. Start confused. Backhand index pointing right. Start unsure. But just start. Because the longer you wait, the longer you stay stuck. At some point, you stop asking, why am I lost? And you start asking a more powerful question. Backhand index pointing right. Who do I want to become? Because being lost is not just about losing direction. It's about being disconnected from your purpose. Milky Way. The truth about purpose. Let's clear something up. Purpose is not something you magically find one day. It's not hidden somewhere, waiting for you. Purpose is something you build. Through your actions. Through your experiences. Through your struggles. Most people sit and wait for purpose to appear. But the people who truly find meaning in life, They create it. Magnifying glass tilted left. Stop searching. Start exploring. If you feel lost, it's because you've been searching too much and exploring too little. You keep asking, what is my purpose? What am I meant to do? But instead of asking, start doing. Try new things. Learn new skills. Meet new people. Step into unfamiliar situations. Because clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from experience. Light bulb, your pain has a purpose. Let's talk about something real. The pain you've been through. The confusion. The failures. The setbacks. They're not random. They're shaping you. Because often, your purpose is connected to your pain. The struggles you faced can become someone else's guidance. The lessons you learned can become someone else's hope. The battles you survived can become your strength. What hurt you can also build you. Fire, turn your pain into power. You have two choices when life gets hard. Let it break you. Let it build you. And the difference is your mindset. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Ask. Backhand index pointing right, what is this teaching me? Because every difficult moment carries a lesson. And those lessons, they become your power. Compass, finding direction without having it all figured out. Here's the truth. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a direction. Think of it like this. If you're in a dark place, you don't need to see the entire path. You just need a small light to take the next step. That's how direction works. Not full clarity. Just enough to move forward. Man walking, follow what feels right, not what looks right. A lot of people feel lost because they're chasing what looks good instead of what feels right. A career that impresses others. A lifestyle that looks successful. A path that society approves. But deep inside, it doesn't feel right. And that creates conflict. So listen to yourself. Not the noise. Not the pressure. Not the expectations. Your inner voice knows more than you think. Seedling growth is uncomfortable, that's how you know it's working. Right now, you feel uncomfortable. Good. Because comfort never creates growth. Growth happens when you feel unsure. You feel challenged. You feel stretched. That's how you evolve. So instead of running away from discomfort, lean into it. Because on the other side of discomfort is a stronger version of you. High voltage, you are closer than you think. It might not feel like it, but you're closer than you think. Every moment of confusion, every failed attempt, every time you questioned yourself, it's all part of the process. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from experience. And that gives you an advantage. Hammer and wrench, build your life intentionally. If you don't design your life, you'll end up living one by default. And that's where most people go wrong. They don't choose their path. They drift into it. But you? You have a choice. You can decide who you want to be. What kind of life you want. What matters to you. And then, start building toward it. Step by step. Sunrise, a new identity. At some point, you have to let go of the person you used to be. And step into the person you're becoming. Because you cannot create a new life with an old mindset. This is your chance to redefine yourself. Not based on your past, but based on your potential. Speech balloon, final words of part 3. If you feel lost, maybe it's not because you have no purpose. Maybe it's because Backhand index pointing right, you haven't created it yet. And that's okay. Because you have the power to start now. To explore. To learn. To grow. To build. Your life is not fixed. Your story is not finished. And your purpose? It's waiting to be created by you. There comes a moment when you realize something powerful. Backhand index pointing right, no one is coming to save you. Not your friends. Not your family. Not luck. Not the perfect opportunity. And that realization? It's not depressing. It's liberating. Because it means one thing. Backhand index pointing right, your life is in your hands. Take full responsibility. This is where everything changes. The moment you stop blaming your past, your situation, other people, your failures, and you start saying, backhand index pointing right, this is my life, and I'm going to take control of it. That's the moment you become powerful. Because responsibility gives you control. And control gives you the ability to change. Crossed swords, you must decide who you are. Life will not decide your identity for you. You must choose it. Are you the person who quits when things get hard? Or the person who keeps going no matter what? Are you the person who stays stuck in fear? Or the person who moves forward despite it? Because at the end of the day, backhand index pointing right, you become what you repeatedly do. Not what you say. Not what you wish. Not what you plan. But what you do, every single day. Rocket build relentless discipline. Motivation will come and go. Feelings will change. Some days you'll feel strong. Other days you'll feel completely lost again. But discipline? That's what keeps you moving. When you don't feel like trying. When you feel tired. When you feel uncertain. You still show up. Even if it's just a little. Because small consistency is what creates big results. Tornado, embrace the struggle. Stop trying to avoid hard times. They are part of the journey. Every successful person you admire went through struggle. They failed. They doubted themselves. They felt lost. But they didn't quit. And that's the difference. Backhand index pointing right, they kept going when it was hard. So when life feels difficult, don't see it as a sign to stop. See it as a sign that you're growing. Light bulb, you are stronger than you think. You've already survived so much. Think about it. All the hard days. All the pain. All the moments you thought you wouldn't make it. But you did. You're still here. That means something. It means you're stronger than you give yourself credit for. Sunrise, create your own meaning. Life doesn't come with a fixed meaning. You give it meaning. Through your actions. Through your choices. Through how you live. So don't wait for life to feel meaningful. Make it meaningful. Help others. Build something. Improve yourself. Chase what matters to you. Because meaning is created, not found. Key, the power of persistence. Here's what most people don't understand. Success is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to be the best. You just need to. Backhand index pointing right, keep going. Even when progress is slow. Even when results don't show. Even when doubt creeps in. Because if you don't quit, you're already ahead of most people. High voltage, this is your turning point. Right now. This moment can be the moment everything changes. Not because everything around you suddenly becomes perfect. But because you decide. Backhand index pointing right, I'm not staying stuck anymore. Backhand index pointing right, I'm not letting fear control me anymore. Backhand index pointing right, I'm taking my life seriously now. And once you make that decision, everything starts to shift. Sunrise over mountains, your future is watching you. Think about the person you want to become. Stronger. Happier. More confident. More successful. That person is watching you right now. Through your actions. Through your choices. Through what you decide to do next. So the question is, backhand index pointing right, are you making that future version of yourself proud? Speech balloon final words, the message you need to hear. If you feel lost in life, don't panic. Don't give up. Don't think it's the end. Because it's not. Backhand index pointing right, it's the beginning. The beginning of self-discovery. The beginning of growth. The beginning of a new path. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not finished. You are just getting started. Direct hit, remember this always. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to take the next step. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to act despite fear. You don't need a perfect life. You just need to keep moving. Fire final line, powerful ending for your video. One day, you will look back at this phase of your life and realize, backhand index pointing right, getting lost, was the best thing that ever happened to you. Because it forced you to find yourself.